Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of the Polkaros Potcast. Today our special guest is Joette from Knoette. Hi, welcome.
Hi everyone.
Hi, welcome Joette. So
Nice to
Joette
be here.
is macrame maker. So I'd like to let her explain more about her craft to you and her journey. So how do you start making macrame and how do you come to know this craft?
Okay, long story, but I'll try and make it succinct. First, hi everyone. No worries. Okay, so how I started macrame was because maybe about 9 years ago, I was not very well. I was very physically weak, and fatigued. And so I couldn't hold a full-time job. And I mean, back then it was just like a lot of free time on my hands, right? And I didn't know what to do with them. So actually first I started out doing watercolors. I had a friend who came over to teach me. And then after that, eventually I did some arm knitting. The arms, like knitting, but then my arms are the needles.
That was very popular.
It was very popular at one point.
To make some like big scarves.
But then I was like thinking like, even I make all these, right? How to sell in Singapore?
Yeah, it's really
nobody is going to.
It's hard to use them. It's cool to look at, but opportunity.
The chunky blanket look. It's like so nice and cozy. But in Singapore, so eventually I bought some cotton yarn. At the time it was like this new thing, right? Because yarn is usually made of like wool and all the other stuff. But cotton yarn came in trend. And so I bought them and I was hoping to actually make a bag. But then it turned out that the bag was too ambitious for me as a first project.
With what kind of technique? Like macrame?
No, it was with knitting.
Oh, like knitting.
And I was like, okay, there's no way I know how to do this. And then I was like, okay, but then I have all this I already bought the cotton yarn. So like I thought, what am I going to do with it, right? Then in the end, I went on their website because they're called The Wool and the Gang. And they have YouTube's video tutorials. So then I saw a tutorial on plant hangers. Then my friend's like, hey, why don't you make a plant hanger with it for me? So for her.
So cute. This is very interesting because I think a lot of us are motivated. Like the start point is always like a friend wanted something from us. Like, this is a very common topic. It was, even for me, my brand is very motivated by a good friend that I have who always put in her request for what she wants.
So, that's so interesting. I didn't know that. But definitely it is. That's why we made it into a business.
That's how. They're the real supporters. Then.
Okay.
So she asked you.
So at that point of time when I was making the plant hanger, I didn't know that it was macrame. Okay. So I was making it. Then after that, I was like, okay, so this is definitely not knitting, it's knotting. What is this all about? Then I realized that it's called macrame. And then I went to Google more. And at a point of time, it was like this big trendy thing in the West. And I saw all the pictures. I was like, there's so much to explore. So pretty.
Okay, so for our listeners, can you like describe what macrame is?
Okay. So macrame is basically the art of knotting. With macrame, you can make very functional objects, very practical stuff like bags, bracelets, accessories, kind of things. But it came back in popular as wall hangings back then.
Oh yes, I remember those like with like twigs and like
boho, very boho kind of look. Very free spirited.
Yes. Those are very trendy.
So I mean, when I first started out, also it was actually making wall hangings. Because that's where I could explore more of the different knots involved. Because there's many knots, as we know, knots that. Okay, so obviously in macrame, when you make decorative stuff, there are certain knots that you use. There are like 4 basic knots.
Okay.
But of course, if you look into the world of knots, there's actually so much more, like the Chinese knots, the pang chang, the good luck knot. And then there's all the sailor knots, right?
So they're all part of macrame, or is it?
it's called the art of knotting, right? So I would say that you can use any knot as long as if you can incorporate it into your work, then it's macrame, isn't it?
Oh, I see. Oh my
It's as wide as it goes.
So that's why you're called Knoette. It's like it's knot.
With my name.
Yes, it's so cool.
Yeah.
So it's basically the art of knotting is more like you're a knot maker, actually.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you went in, did you study all the other knots and try to...
Okay, there's so many that I've not explored all single knots. Yeah, but I think I've explored quite a fair bit. Yeah, and some of them, it really takes, for me, it takes me some time to even remember it. Like the steps.
Yeah.
Because it's, like the Chinese knot is actually not easy to make.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I know people buy it like it's so cheap in Chinatown, but it's actually something like, it's a skill.
Yeah. There was one time, I think in the 80s, it was quite popular, Chinese knot. So my mom actually was a teacher of that. So like my parents, they ran like art supply, ceramic, business, right?
I remember.
So she, at one point, she also brought in Chinese knot with like ceramic beads, that kind.
Oh, yeah.
So I did try, like briefly, I have a vague memory of it. Like when I was a child, I tried some of the knots, but it's difficult and fun. But she is also a fan of macrame. Like she likes like some, I think, it's like it's quite complicated, all the steps, but somehow knots is a thing like she's interested in. So
it's strange. Like you get into it. Yeah.
It's kind of therapeutic, Mary, once you start. Okay, so share with us, like how did it help you, like, just using,
so as I was saying, I started it because, my health was not so good. And so there are certain work, or it really depends on your design. Like you can do the same knot and it can be very repetitive. So it, repetitive means very like, it's like meditative in that sense.
Right?
Yeah, you get into this meditative zone.
Yes.
Yeah, just like doing it, and sometimes it just becomes like a bit, you don't use your brain anymore.
Which is a good, way to just clear out
zone out and to just clear your brain. I mean, you can also like mindfully do it, because actually it really depends on like how you want your knot to look. Depends on how much tension you put into the knot as well. Yeah, and that's also something that you can only hone out over time. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the tension, that nuance, the smaller details.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So, but once you are used to your certain tension, then you get into this meditative process.
Okay.
Yeah, because then it's just like secondhand memory, muscle memory.
Okay.
Yeah. Unless you're trying a new knot.
Okay. Yeah. So now you're pretty much, I guess, like there must be a lot of knots that you're already very autopilot, like you're very comfortable with, that you can just...
I won't say a lot of knots, but the common knots to make things,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it just... Yeah, I don't think so much.
So how is your process like these days? Like, how do you decide what to make or like items?
Yeah. Okay. So I think being business-wise, you kind of have to push out things that attract the crowd. Yeah, in some sense. Yeah. So when I first started out, I did more wall hangings, right? And then I realized that actually the market is not very wide.
Oh.
Because people have different preference in terms of their style of their home interior. Yeah. And once that trend of bohemian, that boho vibe has missed, it's like people don't really want it anymore. Yeah.
Oh,
and some people do lah, if it's their style. Yeah, if it's their style. Yeah. But I think it's really a style thing. Preference. Yeah. So now to at least earn some income, I started to do more lifestyle stuff. Yeah. So like bags and bracelets.
Okay.
Yeah.
And those are doing better now?
Those are better. Yeah. More well received. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Then little items like keychains, because people just want to give people small gifts.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So from like receiving that first request from your friend to launching a business, like how was that journey? How was that process?
Okay, actually, I didn't think very much.
Okay, so you just went straight in already.
In a way, I just thought, okay, so back then when I started was 6 years ago. So that was like 2017, 2018. Is it 6? Wait, my math's failing.
Yeah, 2017.
Yeah, 2017.
Yes,
yeah, and back then there were not many people in Singapore doing macrame. Yeah, and also, I mean, even till today, I would say macrame and people don't know what it is. Yeah,
I don't think it's very common in Singapore.
It's a very niche market and a very niche craft that the people know lah. Yeah, so yeah, I eventually just thought, you know what? Since there's not many people doing this, let's just try, do it. Yeah, because I first started out putting my stuff on Carousel.
Oh, that's very interesting. Wow, I didn't know that. So that was your first kind of platform.
Yeah, that was my first kind of platform.
Why do you think of Carousel? I mean, it's quite interesting choice, I thought.
I guess because at that point in time, it's like no budget, right? I didn't put in budget. Carousel is free.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
There's no limit to...
no. Yeah, and then you transact with people direct, so there's no loss in fee, it's just personal.
Smart,
yeah, so it's not like Etsy where they take a cut.
Yes.
Yeah.
So did you get like a good traffic? Because most of the time, like you need to key in like some search terms, and if people are not really looking for macrame stuff, then how do they find you at that point, I think?
Yeah, actually, I have no idea.
So
but you're right.
Yeah, what are the keywords that you use, or is there any way?
Boho vibe.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yeah. Because that was what it is. What? Yeah.
So you
home
think
interior.
Home interior.
Yeah.
So people were there like looking for home interior stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. So then you got your first sale.
Yeah, I got my first sale there. Yeah. And then
that's very encouraging.
Yeah. And then I met this lady who, wow, she was like, she's really a loyal customer. Yeah, I think she loved macrame, and she's actually an architecture lecturer in NUS, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, and so she wanted plant hangers to customize plant hangers. Yeah, so she just bought a whole lot of plant hangers from me.
Wow, and it was customized. So you took in requests.
Yeah, I took in requests. Yeah, so yeah, it just grew lah. You know what I mean? Like,
awesome.
Yeah, because I guess, like I say, it's people's preference, right? So even in terms of like color. Yeah, like I think most people will know macrame as natural beige. Yeah, right? They associate that color with macrame. But actually, I mean, if you think about it, if you have plant hangers at home and you hang them outside, you kind of want them black so that they don't get dirty.
Wow. I don't really see black.
No, that's why you have to customize, right?
Yes. I haven't even seen a customized one. Like, have you posted a black one before?
Yeah, I posted a black one.
I have to go back and look for it. Yeah, I cannot really
visualize a black one.
It's quite unusual.
It is unusual. I think also because, like, I suppose you would choose black because you don't want it to be dirty, but at the same time, right, the details on black rope actually don't come out as strong. So you don't see it as clear. Yeah, but if you're using it for functionality, then it's a different story, right?
Okay, yes. Wow, so those were like your bestseller, I suppose?
At that time, yeah. And at that time, I just like free flow, whatever creative way, made wall hangers.
Oh.
Yeah, because wall hanging patterns, you can free flow.
Yeah. You can just, do you include like different yarns, or it's always the same?
It's all just rope.
It's all rope.
Yes, cotton rope.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Thickness?
Yeah. Okay, so in general, if you want like a more dainty looking one, you would probably use like a 3mm. Yeah. But then if you want like a more chunkier looking one, then you use like a 5mm. Yeah. I mean, of course, different people have export different thicknesses, right? So there are people out there who even have 9mm kind of. Yeah. But actually, it's difficult to get ropes in Singapore. So I felt like when I first started out, resource was very limited. Yeah, and so that kind of limited my exploration of the craft. Yeah.
So do you still buy locally, or do you import some?
I import. Yeah,
That's what-
everything is imported.
Okay, from the US or
From Poland.
from Poland? Oh,
Yeah,
okay. So
import some from Poland,
cotton
some from
yarn.
China.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so you always have to make sure you have the materials. And,
Yeah. So the process is quite tedious.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you really must plan ahead of time.
Right.
Because you got to wait for the shipment to come also.
Yeah, so you cannot. Yeah. And do you tend to buy in bulk then, like to make
Yeah, so I do buy in bulk. And the thing about it is that because it's also a niche craft, and it's not like it's not something that people buy all the time. Yeah, so even I myself, like, I'm a bit like, okay, so how many of these colors should I buy, Unless like I totally pre-plan ahead of time a certain kind of design that I want to push out, and then I will buy a lot more of that certain color. Yeah.
Oh, it's harder. The planning, I really feel the planning is really like you can't mix colors. It's like not like I can just buy 4 basic colors and so so you need to plan ahead. I almost feel like just using white or something like
yes.
just stick to the basic.
Yeah.
Wow.
At the start, that's what I did. Then
you can consider dyeing them.
Yes. So dyeing is, but I haven't tried it.
Okay, that's that'll be quite interesting.
Yeah, it would be interesting. It would be.
Then you can just buy white.
That's true.
Okay, so from Carousel, then how did you move on, like from there?
Oh, okay. So from Carousel, I eventually felt like, okay, I think I need to up my brand. Yeah. And I think also because, remember I started it out when I was like not so active and, my body was not as strong. Yeah. So I didn't really feel like expanding it more at that point of time. But then after like a couple of years down, I felt like, okay, maybe I need to take this business a bit more seriously. This craft a bit more seriously. Yeah. If I want to really make a living out of it, then I think I got to try, Yeah. So that's when I really told myself, okay, I have to invest. Yeah. Invest in like the branding itself to make it look more, approachable and like for like corporates. Yeah. Cause if you get corporate clients, then, you kind of course, seal the deal a bit more lah. Yeah, get a bit more of income. Yeah.
Corporate clients meaning like stockists, or are you talking about
workshops or like or corporate clients who like say they wanna order from you like an X amount of
like gifts.
Yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah.
So how do you like pursue this? Like, did you write to people, or how do you offer this service?
Actually, I didn't. So if they ever approached me, it's probably because they saw me on Instagram or online.
The branding work that you did was purely like having a logo, or like just building up your brand on IG.
Yeah, it was just building up my brand on IG. Yeah, I think like having to go through all the public marketing stuff, that would take a lot more work for sure. Yeah. And I mean, I don't think I have the capacity for that. So
it was just like being consistent on IG and like posting what you do and what you can offer. Then that's how it took off. From there, like from Carousel. And then you have a website to sell
and then I
stuff.
have a website now to sell my stuff. Yeah, because I feel like I just needed a more direct platform. Yeah, because in that way it doesn't confuse people so much. You know what I mean? Right. Yeah.
Okay. So are most of your sale from like your website now, or like Instagram?
So that's the interesting thing. Yeah. So a lot of my sales are from my website because I don't put anything on Carousel anymore. Yeah, I'm not that active on Carousel. And so I think a lot of my customers come from if they've discovered me or they're my followers on Instagram. Yeah. That's one avenue. The other avenue is probably if they Google online because they wanted to learn how to do macrame.
Wow. So they're actually interested. Like now people are more aware of macrame.
Yeah, I mean, not many, but compared to when I first started, definitely there's at least just slightly a bit more. Yeah. Because every time I would ask my customers, like, where did you find me on? And then they were like, oh, we just went on Google to look for macrame workshops in Singapore. Yeah.
So do you enjoy the workshop part more than making, or like what are both the same, or like do you enjoy workshop? Just curious, how is sharing the craft as enjoyable as doing the craft itself?
I think they're both as equal. I think because I draw different energy from different. Yeah, I mean, like if we keep doing the same thing every day, then it's like it's the same. It's stagnant. You know what I mean? There's no dynamic to your vision of the world in that sense. Yeah, but when you're involved with different things, I think it evokes different things in yourself, right? Yeah, and therefore I think like it does give me a balance because I'm for one is an introvert. I think most people who are crafters are introverts. Yeah, we draw energy from our craft. Yeah, and so you kind of need that downtime from the whole interaction during a class. Yeah, so being in our own cave and doing the craft is great for us. Yeah, but at the same time, the whole workshop element of it, I mean, like meeting new people who are also maybe passionate about something else. You know, I always chat up with my workshop participants and, ask them why they get interested in macrame and stuff like that. Some even come and you don't even know what it is. It's interesting. They just want to learn a new craft.
That's so interesting.
Yeah. And I mean, like, you just learn different things from people that you meet, right? From different walks of life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you just never know who's going to come by, who you'll connect with.
Yes.
And then you share your stories and then you're like, oh, wow, and it's not like after that you might keep a long-term relationship, but that 3 hours that you spend together is just so uplifting.
Yes.
Yeah. So I always think that they're both equally as good. Yeah, of course, even though if probably I was doing workshop every day, right, I think I might be a bit exhausted.
I can imagine. I mean, it's quite, the way you put it makes me realize how amazing it is to actually have these people like come into our lives, like just through our craft, right? Like if not, we would be complete strangers. I mean, like not be able to cross paths, but somehow they're like in your studio and learning this craft from you, and then get to learn about each other's life and journey. And it's quite a nice encounter, also like the chance to share, right? So what do they usually end up making at the end of your 3-hour session?
Oh, okay. Because I have different types of workshops, like targeted to make different types of products. So I have one that's like a basic wall hanging, and then one that's plant hanger.
Oh.
Yeah, and then one that's a tote bag.
Oh.
Yeah, and then every once in a while maybe I'll throw in something special. Yeah.
And they can accomplish that in 3 hours easily, or
no, some things. Okay, so I always tell all my participants, I say, there are people who will take longer to pick up the skill, or to familiarize themselves with the steps of the knots. Yeah, and there are some people who will just pick it up very quickly because they're just like visual learners, right? Yeah, and so everybody's pace of how quick they learn or how fast they do it is going to be different. Yeah, of course, I've not had many people who didn't finish the wall hanging or the plant hanger. Most of them do. But the tote bag probably even longer. It's just because the project itself is a longer project.
So do they bring it home to carry
some
on?
people do bring it home to carry on.
And do they remember all the steps or the version?
I don't know.
How do they?
Yeah. So, okay, sometimes I'll be like, this is the knot that you have to use. I will demonstrate it to them. Yeah. And then I'm like, if you ever forget, okay, my website has, so I have 4 of the main knots.
That's great.
Yeah, a short video of it. Yeah, so it's on the website. Useful. So go ahead and go take a look. Yeah, but if not, then some of them will be like, oh, can I come back to you another day just to try and finish it up? Yes. Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, okay.
Oh, so you actually would open up.
Well, if they want to pay, I don't want.
No, but then I find that is very hard to talk about, actually.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think, being upfront about it, that it's actually time that it's actually our time that we work.
Yes.
Yeah, and I know it's hard. I also found it.
I still haven't found a good way.
Yeah, I know. It's not easy. It's not easy.
We're trying to give things away for
free.
free.
I know.
So after that, I'm like, oh no. Like, I know this is not the, okay. Like, I really literally have people coming to like, finish up their work, and I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna charge them. Like, I start off with that mindset. Then after that, it will be like, oh, actually want to make something else today also. Then I'm like, okay, who's actually, like, that means they assume that I'm gonna charge them. So then they, like, I'm like, okay, maybe it's normal, like.
Yeah.
So yeah, even after, it's not easy. So I
not
think,
easy.
I wonder if it's because we run our own business. So you have to deal with the customers directly, right? So I always talk to other friends, and they're like, you need to charge. And then, but to be the one saying it, and you're the one teaching, and then you're the one saying that, it's just, I used to struggle in the older studio where it's a 3-hour workshop, and you were mentioning that everyone has their own pace, right? So sometimes our workshop will end, like, some of the participants would take a longer time. It'll be like, can last for 5 hours. But then I'll be just there. So it's like
do you charge the extra 2 hours?
No. So it's like a 3 to 6 workshop, and then I'll be there until 8. And then, but the thing is that by the time they leave at 8, I'll be cleaning up till like 9:30, 10.
Yeah.
But then for some reason, it's just so hard to charge for the extra 2 hours. So towards the end, my friend is like, you should just tell them like, okay, you need per hour or something. But it's just awkward once you say that. Then I'm still not very good at the money thing, like talking.
No, I think okay, because as crafters, right, we first come into this not because we actually know the business side of how to handle things. We are like just as green, right? Yeah. And I think we just really want to share the craft. Yeah. But we forget sometimes that this is our livelihood. Yeah, and if this is our livelihood,
I forgot all about that.
I know. I know we forget because this is what we do day in and day out. And to us, it's not like we want to calculate about it. But if you think about it, if we don't, right, then we can just give everything for free.
Yes, I know. And actually, from the participants' perspective, they probably see us as a business, So it would be like quite normal for them if you were to ask. But it's just that the lines get blurred for us. But it's just that I think we have to also see ourselves more like a business, right? If you were like to go to a restaurant or whatever, then you need to pay for certain things, and it's okay to charge. So I think I have to kind of like slowly develop that mindset and feel like, oh, if another instructor is teaching on my behalf, then I have to pay this instructor, and then it becomes more like, okay, so it's just more,
I think you know why, because our personality is the kind where we like to make friends.
Make friends, yes. Oh no, yes. Yeah. I cannot, lines are blurred. Yeah.
Then we feel paiseh, right? We feel bad, right?
Sure.
Yeah. Then it's like, how?
So I was just wondering, like, if, especially when they say, oh, come back and do, that is like a bit like grey. Like, is it come back just to finish up? They might think that, oh, I've already paid for the full workshop. So
So I think it's about the idea and the concept behind why they're paying, right? Are they paying for the hour? Are they paying for our ability to impart the skill? Right. Or, so I think a lot of it is that because they're coming to our space, they...
And also for yours, I would imagine they could also finish it at home, but they prefer to go to you. Then the reason being they need your guidance and advice. So I think that is pretty clear cut, I would say. So I think it's just about us.
For sure.
More, but nice to talk about it, because I guess this is not really a struggle, but it's something that we face, right? As if you want to do a craft business or even pricing your work and things like that. So like, I was just thinking like a hanging plant. I mean, these things takes time.
They do.
Individual. So
they do.
And then, I mean, ceramic
it's the same with yours. Yeah.
And then sometimes I'll refer to, market price of, a cup should be this price and all. But then thankfully, I have friends and like customers will remind me like it's okay, no need compare to like what's out there also, because this is handmade and the layers, because I mean a cup can be a $10 thing, it can be so when there's function added in, then it gets a bit like the idea, the concept of price is a bit different.
Yeah. And I think also like people tend to draw prices based on what they see outside.
Yes.
Yeah. So then they do, and I was like, how come yours is so much more expensive than that one over there?
Yeah. They do that sometimes.
I mean, I would think so. Okay,
Yes,
so one of the things that I felt a little bit discouraged on this while doing this journey, right, was that at some point, right, when I first started on macrame, it wasn't so mass marketed. Yeah, but at some point it did.
Oh, is it?
And then you can just get like plant hangers for like what? Less than $20. Yeah.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Especially because plant got very popular.
Yeah.
So even planters, so kind of like related because
yeah, that's right.
Because at first they will be like, oh, do you want to stock here? You know, we're a plant shop, right? So I'm sure plant hangers will be part of those. And then after a while, we'll be like, oh, when you tell them your price because it's handmade, but they can import from China something very similar, and they can mark up, and by the time they mark up, it's still like $40. So So yeah, I understand like as a business, you probably want to sell it at a price point like this, and it's very realistic out there. So it's only a few, like some special boutique plant shops, they would be like, okay, these handmade range, we'll sell it for higher prices. Yeah, but then need to, I guess, hopefully like the customers will be able to discern when they see the work, like, oh, it's different. Yeah. So,
I think if they are the people who do craft or they value, all these like personally handmade things, then they will know.
Yeah, I'm sure it feels different. Like the pot hanger that is.
Yeah, the rope is also different.
The rope,
the material,
the knots and the detail. So it's going to be very different aesthetically as well. So then those are some of the struggles when the lines are blurred again in a different way, because even for like the mass produced ceramics, they are able to make it look very handmade these days. And they also copy it they copy a lot of like handmade artists' work. So then it's like it's manufactured but to look imperfect. So it's like so that's very challenging.
Yeah, that's our challenge,
in a way. But we can constantly create new works. So maybe in a way we will have new exciting works to bring to
yes.
Yeah. So what are you working on these days? Like any new projects towards?
These days, we all know that now we have to pay 5 cents for plastic bags, right?
Yes.
So I actually came up with some new like tote bags that you can use for the market. Yeah, because I also have like a couple of new bag designs up. Yeah, so then I just thought, you know what, this 5 cents thing, just hop on it. Yeah. So that's one of it. Another one is very minor. Teacher's Day is coming up.
Wow.
Yeah. So, people don't spend a lot. Because, I mean, you can imagine, right? If you were a parent and you wanted to bless your many teachers that your kid, is in school for, I mean, you definitely will have a budget.
And is it a thing now in school? I mean, is it still
I
a
think
thing?
some
like primary, secondary school?
I'm not so sure until how.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, I think even like teacher friends.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they will give each other, like colleagues will give to each other.
So cute,
that kind of thing.
Right. So celebrated day.
Yeah, it is.
First September, right? It's still.
First
October? Oh no.
In September,
I think.
Yes, for September.
It's September. Because October is Tuesday. I remember.
And today is the 3rd.
Yes, you have 1 month.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm just like making something very simple. It's already a pattern that's already in my shop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm just making it in a different form. Yeah, so that it's more budget friendly for these people. Yeah.
So do you usually like have stock ready, or is it like
no,
just put a sample
usually,
out and
yes.
see? Okay. Yeah, so like order by when so that you can receive it, right?
Yeah.
So,
give them lead time.
I see. So there's seem to have a lot of like craft markets going on. Would you be attending any? Or is it?
I have not decided. I mean, there were a couple that asked. Yeah, but I haven't committed to any.
Yes, it's very like labor intensive. Also.
It is, but I mean, I I always do a Christmas one. Yeah, with yarning huts. It's a, I don't know whether you've heard of them.
I heard of them.
Yeah,
yes.
she owns a shop that she sells yarn. She brings in yarn. Yeah, so yeah, she holds it at where the building that her studio's at.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's inside her studio.
Inside and outside
as
also.
well. Oh, so it's quite a big space.
Yeah, it's quite a big space.
And it's a market, so everyone has their own booth and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you most likely attend.
Yeah, I most likely would, unless I get a request that is like workshop based. Yeah, and usually because at the end of the year, if it's Christmas workshop, then it's usually not just one workshop.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it really depends because like, as you know, we are solo entrepreneurs, right?
So we can only do one.
Yeah, we can only do one. Yeah. So it's like, it's not easy to figure out time frame and all that kind of stuff. So gotta think about it.
Oh, yes. Maybe you can share with us your Christmas workshop last year, because I saw some of the works that were very nice. And you had a few Christmas workshops, right?
No, I only had pop-up.
What about the one where it was like a ring and
the wreath? The braided one?
Yes, isn't it a Christmas workshop?
No, it was. I just made that as a product to sell.
Oh, okay. But then our friend Anathea attended.
So sorry.
I was like trying not to bring this up, but I had to prompt you. Okay.
Okay. Which one are you talking about? Yeah. Oh, okay. So
because that was a beautiful workshop, she showed me what she made.
Yeah. Okay. I know why it didn't click in my brain because what she learned wasn't a wreath, but it was like a holly. It's the holly and the leaves.
Okay. But it was very Christmas vibe.
Yeah. Because it's like the hollies and the berries.
Yes, it's so cute. So it was meant to be a mobile, like a hanging.
It's like a hanging, like, put on the side of your door. Yeah, like a decorative item on the wall. Yeah.
So it was, what were the items that they learned how to?
Okay, so they had to learn how to make the leaf. Yeah.
And it's all from macrame knots.
Yeah. He's using macrame
with
knots.
just your fingers?
Yeah.
Wow, that's so interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so
and then
the leaf alone, you just have to learn one knot. But it's kind of like, it can be a bit complicated because you have to follow the pattern, right? And then with macrame, certain things are like very symmetrical. So it's like a left and right thing. And then so it really kind of takes your brain, whether you can do your mirror imaging.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Work.
And then after that, the leaf, then they got to make
the berries.
The berries as well.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it. But
that's it.
It looked like such a
it looks so complete. Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
I mean, then they attach it to the ring, which is the wreath, right? Which you were referring to.
Yes,
so but then they don't make the ring.
Yes, but was it? Maybe it wasn't last year. Was it not last year? It was last year.
Yeah,
right?
it was last year. It was last year.
It was like 2 years ago.
No.
Okay, last year, correct. So the thing is that after that, Anathea made me this. Okay, Anathea is a good friend of Polkaros Studio. So she made us this. Okay, she bought Pierrot, like one of our ornament, a Pierrot ornament, and then she hooked it up with, and then she made some leaves and with our
she added
macrame
it to it.
Yeah, so and then we hung it outside the studio. I'll put a picture of it. So she hung it outside the studio during our open
super cute.
studio. So it was like, wow, that's such a Christmas warming vibe. So really like that. So that's what I thought when you mentioned Christmas workshop. I was thinking, is it going to be more of that kind of ornament for possibly, right?
Yeah. So I mean, okay, like again, it really depends how much time there is. So there are some people who email and say, we are requesting for a 1 hour workshop. Then some people like say, we don't mind it longer. But usually like the more people there is in a workshop, the longer it takes, you see.
Yes. That's right.
So it really has to, I mean, a lot of times when people actually send requests or, when they ask about workshops, I really have to kind of like tailor it to suit it. And then I have to also explain the craft. Yeah. Because if not, they don't understand. Like, why does it take so long? Or like, why is it you cannot do something more complicated? Like more, like that looks more bigger or like, just more detail or whatever. And like, they don't get that, the person needs to first be able to hone and remember the steps of it. Yeah. And if they can't even remember that, then it will take them a really long time to finish the project.
Yeah. So I think that's a challenge for us to convert our craft into a 3-hour workshop. Is quite a challenge, right? Because the expectations are high. And
it's totally,
So,
but then it's also then our point of view to also educate. But then that's the hard part, you see, because then when you educate, right, people find out that, oh, actually it's more complicated than we thought. Then it's like, that's the challenge for them, whether they want to even be interested to do it.
Yeah,
or not.
If it's
to commit.
If it's too challenging, then it might be discouraging for the first session.
Yes, correct. So you want to kind of make it palatable, but yet
they're happy with the finished product. And that's the challenge. I think a successful
really
workshop is a project that everyone's happy.
Yeah.
So what is the maximum number that you can handle, like in a group, you think?
Okay, so usually when the item is quite complicated, so like say for the holly leaves one that Aditya came for, I would take maximum 4. Yeah, and that's it. Yeah, maximum 4. Because you will realize that along the way, they will keep asking for help. Especially if they don't grasp hold of it so quickly. Whereas those who grasp hold of it, they probably could finish it on their own, and that's fine. So I mean, as you know, we can never predict.
The level. Right?
The level, so gotta be sort of more practical about it. And I think I've always when I first started out my workshop, I always came with this approach that, I want everybody to go home knowing and honing it. Rather than like they came and then they just then they don't quite remember what they did. And then I feel like the process of teaching the craft would have been lost. And also because like for me, I just want to show them that, it can reach a point where it's very therapeutic. I want them to experience
to reach that happiness that you have experienced.
Yes.
I know.
And so like I don't want to jam pack having so many people, and then some people miss out on learning certain things because I feel that's what happens when you jam pack a workshop with too many people.
And I think then like corporate workshops will be harder to
it definitely is hard.
Because they would want like 20 people.
So when that happens, is like I try and push out more smaller items that are easier.
So you still manage to like bigger groups.
I've done one with 50 people. 40 people before.
That's amazing.
But I didn't do it alone. I did it with 2 other helpers.
Wow, that's great.
No, actually no. Okay, sorry, I take that back. They were all grouped in like 7 or 6 people per table, and each table had a helper. Okay, I realized because they actually came for a workshop before that, and then they volunteered to help out. So I would really say like the maximum you can take is the most 8.
I think that's the same for us as well. Like 8 or 10 per person.
10 is a stretch for us.
I think so. For me, I think 10 for pottery is still doable.
Still doable. Okay.
Some people even do up to 15 per instructor. I think it's a bit because knotting and all this. Because pottery is quite intuitive. Like people like still try to figure out on their own, even if they don't get attention from us. Like, they may destroy it, may not, but some people will be able to save their work on their own. So sure.
Actually, that's true. It's more forgivable, huh? In that sense, the learning process
is really like if there's a hole, then we have to re-wedge the clay, then those people are okay to wait. I think they're like, okay, we'll get back to you later. But like I think it's more intuitive. Like, you just naturally, I'm gonna use some water here. I think that is also the joy, the process of just getting to know the clay on your own. So it's okay for us to just rotate.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay, so to wrap things up, we're going to finish off with the final question. I hope you thought about it a bit. It's just a funny question that we like to, ask our guests and see what they come up with. So if you were to go on a deserted island, what is the craft that you love so much that you would bring along with you?
Also, it's more that because I love it.
Not that you don't need to love it. It can be a craft that you don't even know, but it's just like a craft you will be in a desert island. You have everything else like food lah, basically. Like those are necessities taken care of. But just
when I saw this question, right, the first thing I thought to myself, wood making.
Oh, really?
Because then it will help me get off the island.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Right? I can build a boat, right?
Wow, you want to build a boat. Okay. This has been very interesting. This a whole question.
I want to know what other people say.
Yeah, then you have to listen to our podcast for the answers. Yeah, because really everyone's answer is like mind-blowing. Like, I mean, I'm very impressed. Like, wow, I'm like, wow, I never ever thought of this option. And also, I think everybody will be very clever. So, but what does it say also? Like you want to be out of Thailand, right? Because I mean, some people assume that they're going there like to enjoy the island as well. But okay, because it's deserted, I think it doesn't sound like it's so maybe.
When you said deserted island, I was like thinking, oh, then can we escape? Yeah.
But then you're like, you can actually build a boat, which is a lot of confidence.
But I mean, because you said if we could bring any craft, so if I had the knowledge of woodworking, then I can totally do it by myself. Why do I? Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, that's very interesting. So thank you so much, and thank you so much for coming on our show today.
Oh, no worries.
Thanks for sharing your craft, and thanks for listening, everyone, and tuning in. If you want to see Joette's craft, you can go on IG and find Knoette. It's like with a knot in front. Yeah, and any other like your website, maybe we can see.
Yeah, our website is www.knoette.com. So Knoette is KNOETTE. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Hope to see some of you there.
Yes, please follow Knoette and Joette. Yes.
Thank you.
So much for coming.
Thank you, Ross. Bye.